Hello, thanks for stopping by today. If you are interested in the supplies and measurements for today's card, there is a link in the information section below to the blog post with all the details. And here's the card I created. I was inspired by a one-sheet wonder idea that I saw on Facebook in a group I'm in, and I decided to make my version. So here's the card that we're going to be doing. And I used the Forever Fern stamp set, and I used this long one of these short ones, and this one. So let's get started. Pull in my measurements. First thing you need is a piece of Whisper White that's 3 3/4 by 5, and we're going to be doing some stamping, and I know it's going to go off, so I'm going to pull in my scrap paper again. And the first thing I'm going to do is use my Seaside spray, and I'm going to use that long leaf, and I'm going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it like so. And I'm just kind of stamping around. I'm keeping this corner as my can't do that one, it won't work. It would, the stem would go too high, so you just have to be aware of that. I think what I did with some of them is I did cover up the tail. All right, the next one I did was soft suede, and I used the next image. And for that one, I stamped it once and then I stamped it again. And it's okay if you miss a spot, because believe me, by the time you're done, it's not going to really matter. All right, so there's that. And then the last one that I used was the Night of Navy. And I used one of the littler ones, and again I stamped, and this one I stamped full size. First generation. I didn't do any off stamping, and I went all the way around the circle like so. All right, and I have my image stamped, ready to go. And I decided to add some of the Seaside Spray Sparkle ribbon. So I'm going to pull out a piece to cut and attach. And I'm going to use my tear and tape to attach it so that I make sure that it stays where it's supposed to be and doesn't come apart. So I'm going to flip this over and add my tear and tape to the back. And I'm going to take my backing off like so. All right, and I'm going to add my ribbon at the top. And I'm kind of watching where I want it. Now, this ribbon, if you don't pull it tight, it's not gonna be straight. So pull it, not real tight, but fairly tight. And then make sure you go back and add tear and tape over top of that other so that you have it sandwiched in between. Your card base is Night of Navy, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Use your bone folder for a crisp fold. All right, and then this piece gets added to the top, and I have to add some more. Okay, got some more on there. I'm going to add this to the center side to side, top to bottom. And then my bow goes on next. So I'm gonna tie my bow. I love this sparkly ribbon, but then I like my bling, so this is the best of both worlds, ribbon and bling. I'm gonna trim my ends, and by leaving your ribbon attached to your spool, that's the only waste you have. Now I'm gonna add this to my card base with glue dots, and I'm gonna put a glue dot on each side of the knot. And the reason being is that kind of holds that knot or those ends in place so it doesn't come out. Oop, and it came off on my finger. So I'll stick it under there. So there's that. And the only thing we have left is our center image. And I took the Stitch So Sweetly dies, this one, and I stamped on a scrap of soft sea spray hello this time. I decided I wanted the hello instead of the leaves. So you can stamp on there whatever you want, just to give you an idea what it would look like with a sentiment. So let me take and add my dimensionals to the back, and I'm going to take my backs off. And I'm going to add that right over the spot where all those stems come together. And there's our card. And to do the inside of the envelope, I use the same images and just stamp them. If you've enjoyed today's video, would you please give it a thumbs up, which is a like on YouTube. I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Click the button below. If you want to be notified when I upload a video, click the bell next to the subscribe button. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope I inspired you with today's creation. Have a great day.